Hello, welcome to Inside the Summit League. We've got golf and tennis and baseball all coming up in a little bit. Great race going on right now in softball between North Dakota State and Omaha and South Dakota, all battling it out at the top of the standings. But we start with two new head coaches in basketball, and one of them is in Brookings, where South Dakota State has a new men's coach this week, and he is TJ Otzelberger. Maybe not a household name in Summit circles yet, but soon to be. He replaces Scott Nagy, who is now at Wright State University in Ohio. Otzelberger is 38 years old. He comes from Iowa State, where he has been an assistant under three coaches there. First under Greg McDermott, and then Fred Hoiberg, and then last year under Steve Prohm. And this will be Otzelberger's first job as a college head coach, but he has made a name for himself as a recruiter at the Division I level, and he is promising the Jackrabbit fans a little get out and go kind of game plan.
Our style of play is going to start offensively. We're going to get up and down the court. The coaches I've worked for have been great in transition. The teams we've had at Iowa State over the last 5 years have been amongst the top in the nation in scoring, three-point shooting, and offensive efficiency. So hopefully we can take some of those things and implement them. We want to get up and down the floor. I want highly skilled players that can dribble, pass, and shoot and can make plays, and that's where we're going to start.
At the end of the day, TJ has kind of sat in the seat where he's had to do academics, he's had to do compliance work, he has to know what APR means, but he also is a phenomenal recruiter. And he has a sense of what our vision, and it's a shared one with what we're trying to accomplish, because at the end of the day, this is about the student-athlete experience, and can we maximize their experience and talents in academics, in being able to grow as a person, and then to win some basketball games, and he gets that to a T. So I think it made it very easy and very comfortable to hire TJ.
It's a culture of student-athletes that they want to excel on the court, they want to get better, they want to play as a team, and they want to win in the community too, and all those things to me factor in. I'm a people person, like to be around people that like to work hard, have fun along the way, and do some great things. And I think everything that I've ever wanted to achieve professionally and personally is we have it right here in Brookings, and we couldn't be more excited.
We've talked about this for a couple of years, just trying to be prepared, because we have some very talented coaches, and at our level that happens. They get opportunities to move up, and you better be ready to go. And I think our preparation, our ability to reach out to people we know in the business really helped us handle the flood of things that come at you, and we were able to sort through those very quickly and make a lot of calls and get to where we needed to in about 9 days. And I think I give a lot of credit to my staff for being able to pull some of that together, but our preparation really helped us on this one.
Well, Otzelberger will be the first new men's head coach at SDSU in more than 20 years. Scott Nagy had been there a long time, 21 seasons, but as Justin Sell talked about, they had definitely been prepared in the event that Nagy would eventually move on to another job, and Otzelberger takes over at South Dakota State. Well, the other new head coach this week is at IPFW. Niecy Nelson is the new women's head basketball coach there. She takes over for Chris Paul, who was let go after this past season. Nelson was an assistant in Fort Wayne for one season back in 2005, and for the last 11 years, she has been an assistant at the University of San Diego. Niecy Nelson takes over at IPFW and the women's program there. Well, that leaves one basketball coaching job open right now, and we don't know yet who it's going to be in Vermilion. They are going through the search process, looking for a new women's head coach to replace Amy Williams. Williams had been at South Dakota for 4 seasons, but left last week, to take over as the new head coach at Nebraska. And she leaves some big fancy shoes to fill. USD is coming off a 32-win season and a WNIT championship. And the Coyotes, by the way, finished number 6 this year in the final mid-major poll put out by collegeinsider.com. And the number 1 team in that poll, by the way, is also from the Summit League, South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits went 27-7 this year. They won the Summit League tournament, beat Miami in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, and then came up just short of a trip to the Sweet 16 in that 1-point loss to Stanford. Well, one other hoop note this week, and congrats to Garret Covington at Western Illinois. He is just back from representing the Summit League at the NCAA Leadership Forum in Phoenix. Covington has been involved in student government and in SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Council at Western Illinois. And this is a big honor for a guy who has also been one of the best players in the league in the last 3 years.
When I recruited him, I saw those qualities in him. And I think now it's starting to get some national recognition for his leadership in the community and within our university and our program.
It's been a great 3 years, honestly. On the court could be better, obviously, but we've had our ups and downs. But off the court, getting involved in SGA and student government and SAC, it's awesome to be able to do all these things while playing basketball.
Now he's more of lead by example, and I think that's who he is by nature, his personality. Great guy, great locker room guy, great guy in the community, but on the court right now it's more lead by example. Working with him, and he's embracing the more vocal part, especially being a guard. You have the ball in your hand most of the time, and whether to make the right basketball decision is part of it. But now it's going into his senior year. He really needs to be that vocal leader for us this year, on and off the court. And so far, so good. His spring workouts, he's done a really good job with that.
Congrats to Covington. Again, he will be the leading scorer, returning scorer in the Summit League when he comes back for his senior season. Well, we've got some Western Illinois baseball coming up next. It was not a great weekend for the Leathernecks, and conversely, that means it was an awesome weekend for Greg Kaiser and Fort Wayne as they get the sweep in Macomb.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back now to baseball, and we are halfway through the Summit League schedule, and Oral Roberts is in the lead with a 12-3 record right now. And ORU pitchers Cale Timms, Nick Wood, and Josh McMinn all have 4 wins on the season so far, and McMinn is the pitcher of the week. Again this week, he got 2 wins in relief, goes 3 innings, does not allow a hit, and the Oral Roberts win over Oklahoma State. And then McMinn goes 4 innings, allows just 1 hit in a win over Omaha. Meanwhile, Greg Kaiser is the player of the week. Fort Wayne Senior was crushing it as the Dons beat Butler, and then they won 3 in a row against Western Illinois. Kaiser goes 11 for 17 on the week with 7 extra base hits and 10 RBI in those 4 games. And here is the show that Kaiser put on over the weekend, and South Dakota State making a little move this week by winning 3 in a row at home against North Dakota State. Friday in Macomb, Illinois, Fort Wayne at Western Illinois. IPFW starter Evan Miller, 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, gives up just 1 run, and he gets the win because he pitched well and he got backed up by plenty of offense. Brandon Soaked with a solo homer in the 2nd inning, and the Dons already up 4-0. And then Greg Kaiser, the player of the week, a vicious rip, and that is long gone, his 2nd homer of the game, and the Dons up 6-0 after 2 innings. Western Illinois gets a run back in the 7th on a double by Adam McGinnis as Nathan Pollock comes around to score. But this was Greg Kaiser's game. Goes into the hole at short, snag and a throw, and a great play to get Deion Thompson by a step. And then this is Kaiser again back at the plate. Another healthy rip up and over the scoreboard. Kaiser with 3 2-run homers in the game. 9-1 Fort Wayne in game 1. And Greg Kaiser just getting started. Game 2 on Saturday, 73 degrees, beautiful at the ballpark. Kaiser getting ready, wind blowing out the left. Western Illinois leading 4-3 in the 6th. Kaiser at the plate with a man on. Pitch up around the letters, and he crushes it. Another 2-run shot. The Dons get 6 runs in the inning to take the lead. And then Kaiser in the next inning. This pitch down around his shoes, and he crushes that to left. Solo shot this time. Kaiser takes over the league lead in home runs with 9, and Fort Wayne wins game 2 11-5. And on Sunday, no homers for Greg Kaiser, but he singles twice, doubles, drives in another run. He scores 3 times, and Fort Wayne blows it open with 4 runs in the 7th inning. 8-1 is the final in game 3, and they are still in last place, but Kaiser and the Dons get something going with a sweep on the road. South Dakota State, meanwhile, up in 2nd place after a 3-game sweep of their own. The Jacks at home against North Dakota State. Nice play by Ben Peterson out in right field for the Bison. He had a 3-run homer in this game as well, but that was all of the runs for North Dakota State. SDSU hits 4 home runs, one by Matt Johnson, and apparently it was a good weekend everywhere for cranking one down the left field line. Paul Jacobson hits 2 out for South Dakota State. 3 hits, 5 RBI in the game for Jacobson. The Jackrabbits crank out 16 hits in all. Andrew Clemens gets the win, gives up 9 hits, but he strikes out 7. Clemens leads the league in strikeouts now with 50, and 11-3 is the final in Game 1. And the Jackrabbits top that total in Game 2. North Dakota State, though, gets to the lead with 5 runs in the second inning. They knock out SDSU starter Ryan Fromm. Drew Fearing drives in 2, and it is 5-0 North Dakota State. But the Jackrabbits hit 4 more home runs, starting with a towering shot to left center by Anthony Schneider. SDSU scores 8 runs in the bottom of the third inning. Matt Johnson with a 3-run shot that carries up and over the left field wall. And then Paul Jacobson again to almost dead center. That is a manly home run for Jacobson. South Dakota State with 20 hits in this game, and they win it 14-7. And on Sunday, lower scoring, but another SDSU win. Henry DeCaster, big, lanky lefty freshman, gets the win. Gives up just 2 unearned runs in 7 innings. Bottom of the third, Jesse Munsterman drives in 2. The Jackrabbits get 3 runs in the third. That is enough. Greg Casper comes on for the save, and South Dakota State gets the sweep. 5-2 is the final in Game 3. Well, we've got softball coming up next. Omaha trying to keep pace with North Dakota State and doing a pretty good job of it. Campbell Ditto and the Mavericks add to their league-leading home run total coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Now to softball, and lots of good pitchers in the Summit League again this year, and that includes Brooke Betcher at IUPUI. She is second in the league in ERA right now, and she is the pitcher of the week for the 4th time in her career. She got a win against Fort Wayne and did not allow a run in 8 2/3 innings of work. Player of the week is Campbell Ditto from Omaha. She went 7 for 14 at the plate, threw out a couple of base runners. Ditto and the Mavericks lead the league with 55 home runs right now. They're the only team in the league that averages more than 1 dinger per game. Omaha hit 7 of them in a 3-game sweep over Western Illinois over the weekend. Perfect conditions in Macomb to play 2 on Saturday. Omaha down 1-0 until Nicole Warren doinks that off the scoreboard, the first of 5 homers in the game for the Mavericks. And here is the player of the week. Campbell Ditto goes 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 3 RBI, and the Mavericks beat Western Illinois in Game 1, 7-3. Second game of the double dip Saturday evening. Omaha playing some defense too. Tough to turn the first to second double play, but they do it. Courtney Pock to Nicole Warren. Casey Hart pitching well for Western, but Omaha scores the only runs of the game in the first inning, and the Mavericks take game 2, 2-0. And then on Sunday, Western Illinois, a little small ball. Taylor Messer lays it down. Nina Maggio scores. Leathernecks get 3 in the second, and then they blow up 8 more in the third inning. Kelly Marlowe with a bases-loaded triple. Western Illinois cools off Omaha in Game 3 of the series, 14-8. And everybody looking up at North Dakota State. The Bison and Brookings taking on South Dakota State. Jacqueline Surdick almost untouchable. Strikes out the side in the first, strikes out 7 of the first 9 batters. Surdick ties the season high with 14 strikeouts, and the Bison win Game 1, 7-2. NDSU takes Game 2, 8-2. And in Game 3 on Sunday, the Bison put up 4 runs in the first inning. Alyssa Reyna drives in 2. She is 3rd in the league in RBI. Didn't rain, but it poured on the Jackrabbits. NDSU with 10 runs on 10 hits. Bison sweep the series. They are 9-0 in Summit League play. Well, we've got golf coming up later, tennis coming up next, and Western Illinois trying to get something going, heading into the league championships coming up next weekend.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back. The Summit League Tennis Championships will be held next Friday and Saturday. They are in Omaha this year. Denver's men and women are the two-time defending team champions. Meanwhile, one individual to keep an eye on is Ellie Burns at the University of South Dakota. She is a freshman from Scotland, and she is the player of the week going into the league tournament. She is the Coyotes' #1 player. Burns went 3-0 last week with wins against the top players from Omaha, IUPUI, and South Dakota State. Now, the tennis women of Western Illinois have 2 regular season matches left, and while they have yet to win a league match so far this season, they did get a victory on Sunday over St. Francis of Illinois. Courtney Lubbers with a 6-2, 6-2 win in #1 singles, and Ariana Demos with a 6-love, 6-4 win in the #3 match as the Leathernecks sweep all 7 points. Western has matches at Omaha and South Dakota State coming up this Friday and Saturday to round out the regular season, and then on to the league championships coming up next weekend. In women's golf, South Dakota State lands 2 on the All-Summit League first team this year. Hallie Getz is 4th in the league right now with a scoring average of 76 strokes. Megan Mingo of the Jackrabbits is 1st in scoring at 74.8 shots per round. And another junior, Brenna Lervik of South Dakota, earns first team honors. And they are joined by Natalie Roth, a sophomore at North Dakota State, and Katarina Barata, a freshman at Denver. And they have all just finished up their final rounds at the Summit League Championships. We will have the recap next week on the show. And we do know this, though. Jessica Carty, a junior from Denver, shot a 3-under par 69 in the first round. That is a new record for lowest individual round in the Summit League tournament. And you can check out all of the results from the Women's Golf Championships at thesummitleague.org. Well, the Men's Golf Championships are just a week and a half away, and it has been 7 years since Western Illinois won back-to-back-to-back league championships. But we will take a look at why Western could be a contender again this year. That's coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Well, the Summit League Men's Golf Championships are May 1st through the 3rd. They are going to be played at Sand Creek Station Golf Club down in Newton, Kansas. It's just north of Wichita. Western Illinois is the only men's team in the league with 3 players in the top 11 in scoring average right now. And as Eric Sutera reports, one of those Leathernecks is a senior from Mount Sterling, Illinois. His name is Alex Templin.
Following the Hoosier Invitational Championship, senior golfer Alex Templin was named the Summit League Golfer of the Week on Wednesday, April 6th. The first time in his career he has received an honor. Templin tied for 8th in the overall tournament with a 145 and helped lead the Leathernecks to victory. This season, he has been playing the best golf of his Leatherneck career.
I would say the thing that's different about this year is learning from my previous 3 years. I really didn't play a whole lot my freshman and sophomore year, and my junior year I did, so that whole year was kind of a really big learning experience for me, and I remember kind of what I struggled with and what I need to work on for this last year. And I did work on those things, and I think that's really what's helped me. And also, it's my last year playing college golf, so it's kind of like my back's against the wall.
He knows his game, he knows the shots that he can play, and he also knows the golf courses that we play on, which kind of helps him in terms of knowing how to play and what kind of shots to play on each of the courses that we play.
Leading up to his senior year, Alex has learned and improved on a lot since joining the Leatherneck team 4 years ago.
Well, it's kind of funny because I remember when he was coming in as a freshman, my only concern about Alex was him being confident enough to play. I felt like he was, he's a great high school player in this area. He won about every tournament around here, but he lacked a little bit of self-confidence, I think, coming from a small school.
I feel like I make a lot less double bogeys or worse. This whole year I've been pretty good at doing that. In the 3 previous years I've made a lot of double bogeys or triple bogeys that really messed up my round and that are pretty hard to recover from.
As a native of Indiana, the Hoosier Invitational has always been a huge favorite for Alex, but the Leatherneck victory this year made it something to be proud of for a lifetime.
It was absolutely unbelievable. So being able to get my first college top 10 and also have the team win for the first time in a while was just absolutely awesome. And the fact that it is a Big Ten tournament just made it even better.
Throughout his 4 years as a Leatherneck, Alex has grown to be quite a role model and a great leader for the golf team.
He's been one of the hardest workers on the team all 4 years he's been here. And I think the guys on the team can really see that he's worked hard on his game, and they all like him. So they like to practice with him, they like to know what's going on with him and how he plays golf courses, and that really makes a difference for the other guys.
Thank you, Eric. Well, most Summit League teams get one home tournament during the spring season. Western Illinois got theirs over the weekend, hosting the Masato Invitational. It had 12 teams in the field, including Eastern Illinois and Bradley. Alex Templin shoots 72, 74, 74, and he finishes in a tie for 6th place individually. Andrew Blackburn of Western Illinois shoots 70 in round 1. He finishes 3rd overall. And Western Illinois sophomore Sean Miller ties the low round of the tournament with a 69 in the final round on Saturday. The Leathernecks finished 2nd in the 12-team competition there. And up next for Western Illinois and everybody else, the Summer League Championships, again starting on May 1st. And we'll see you next week on Inside the Summit League.